Hey guys, it's your girl Miss G, and you know what time it is. It's G time. It's time to get up, get active, and get it together. My purpose is to give advice, encourage change, and empower success. The goal is for us to elevate and grow and excel together. Everyday action is required for change, and you have the power to create change. With all of that being said, we have a new episode today. I did a very special interview with one of my sisters. I say one of my sisters because I have many siblings. This is the baby of the family, kind of. She's one of the babies. And she has a new blog called Lazy Parents Trying. And of course, I was like, what does that mean? Lazy Parents Trying. And when I went to the blog, there was so much information, so much good information for new parents, for old parents, for parents in general. And I just had to get an interview with her so that she can explain her blog and let you know some helpful tips that she's using as a parent and a parent during this pandemic. So with that being said, we will get into the interview. It'll be with Breahna, blogger of Lazy Parents Trying. And we're going to talk about what that means. So here we go. Hope you enjoy it. Hello, Bree.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. So I was on Facebook scrolling. Obviously, I'm always looking at what you're doing and looking at my new niece online because I'm in a whole nother state. And ran across Lazy Parents Trying. And of course, I was like, what? What does that mean? So can you tell us what Lazy Parents Trying is?
Yeah. Basically, this is my new blog that I created, and I started thinking that like parenthood is like a giant to-do list that is never ending. This list is gonna go on forever and ever. And as parents, you're always serving other people. Whether it's your boss or your kids, your spouse, like even your pets. It seems like you're always serving other people and doing things for everyone else. And during the time of us helping everyone else, sometimes we lose ourselves and, we forget to take care of ourselves and do the things that, we love to do. So when I had my daughter, she's 13 months now, I didn't even know who I was anymore. I stopped doing all the things I love doing, and I just didn't know where to go for myself because, all her needs were coming before mine. So, I just put myself in the back burner, and I was like, I guess this is it. Like, this is what, if you have to do to be a parent. You just got to get over it. But, it took a while. It took a couple months. Then I was like, I don't think this is right. I don't think I should have to feel not like a person and feel happy with myself because, I'm taking care of other people. I think I could do everything that I want all together. And so there's a lot of things that I wanted to be as a parent. And so me and my boyfriend, we kind of switched over. We took like a second gear because we were both very tired and busy. But we're like, we want to do things that we want to do. So randomly, all of a sudden, like we started being like super zero waste. We switched over to being vegan. We wanted to do cloth diapers. I was breastfeeding. I never knew anything about it before I had the baby. We were bed sharing, like super all natural, like American weirdos. Like something I never imagined. But like it's so random. Like it just out of nowhere. And these are just random things, we wanted to do, and we put them together and we started doing them. But it's hard to change your lifestyle with a new kid or even an older kid, like any kid. Like so, I'm gonna have to do it in the most efficient, like I'll say the laziest way possible. So that way I could be happy, he could be happy, the kids could be happy. So it's like it's a different perspective on how you can still achieve things you want to do, but like with like the least amount of effort possible.
I like that. I like that because I mean, I'm a mom. I have 3 kids, and every child brings on a different need, and they all have their different characters and personalities, and you have to meet their needs. And it is hard when you become a parent. My kid is 17, and he's my oldest, and he still is like, oh my God, how many things do I have to do? I'm like managing a young adult right now, and I'm like, dude, I think I just became an adult. I can't manage you as an adult too. So I'm still trying to, it's still a work in progress, and it still takes balancing, yourself and your children. But you touch on a lot of key points. One basically being, when you become a parent, you sometimes do lose yourself, and you have all of these different influences around you. Your parents, your parents' parents, your friends who are parents, your friends who are not parents, and everybody has an opinion on how you should do it and what works best, and everybody's feeding you all of this information, and really all you're thinking about is, can I just get 5 minutes of sleep? I don't really care.
Serious.
I just want to go to bed. Just leave me alone.
Exactly.
So when I saw work harder, not smarter, work smarter, not harder, I was like, yeah, it took me years to figure that out. If somebody would have told me that 17 years ago, oh my God, it could have saved me a lot of crying, sleepless nights, anxiety pills, weight gain, hair loss, a lot. Because I was trying to be everything to everyone and completely forgot who I was. Or being so young, I was still trying to figure out who I was. And so, that brings on a lot of added pressure. So again, looking at your blog, I'm looking at cloth diapers and the breast pads and turning your waist into other things. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, somebody can use that. Somebody somewhere is saying, how can I manage all this, especially during a pandemic when people are losing their jobs, struggling to make ends meet, or really don't know whether or not they'll have a job. In the next couple of weeks or months because of the changes that are happening. So, what are some things that you've learned during this process? So you talked about becoming vegan and also utilizing some ways. What are some examples?
Yeah, so me and my boyfriend, we both went to culinary school together. So food is just like a big thing in our house. And obviously we used a lot of meat and stuff. And he would have some maybe like stomach issues, and I got a couple health issues and stuff. And we would watch documentaries in school about how switching over to like a vegan lifestyle could help, just your body in general.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, cool, we learned about it. A couple years later, I see we want to become more zero waste, and apparently a huge thing in the zero waste community is a lot of them are vegan. So I'm just like, why? Like, what does it have to do with it? So we start watching some documentaries on Netflix, and we just learn how just the meat industry produces a lot of either waste or environmental destruction and stuff like that. So our focus to become more vegan was really for the environment, and our carbon footprint will be less if we chose to stop eating meat or just make simple adjustments in our life. So luckily, since we do have a background, it's easier for us to cook, like our sister Tab,
right,
she is vegan sometimes, and she can't cook to save her life, so so it's harder for her,
right.
So yeah, she's on like the just eating tortillas and like Oreo diet, which in the end is not gonna be as good for you. So I want to eventually I'm gonna put a section on my blog for food recipes too, vegan recipes.
Nice.
Because at least, yeah, I'm super stoked. It just it's really hard, so I got to make sure it's really good. But I think it'll be helpful because there's a lot of people who want to make this change.
I'm one.
They don't know how to really start. Yeah.
Right. I did.
And so I'm like, okay, we have.
So for Lent, I did 40 days no meat, right? And about 25 days in, I was like, what else am I supposed to be eating? Like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
so
Exactly.
so I was doing just seafood, and that was great. And for someone who loves seafood, I love shrimp, I love crab, all of that. Again, by 25 days, I was like, I don't want to eat another shrimp. Like, I just want some food. And then
Yeah.
I think by 30 days it's like, okay, I can do chicken the last 10. And it was really it was really good for me. But
Yeah.
right when that was over, I think I've just been like, give me beef. Give me beef, give me
Yeah.
pork, give me anything that makes me feel
Yeah.
good. But I also have seen a difference in, a lot of things like mood, sleep, and I have a lot of health issues too. So I'm still trying to find that balance. And the one thing that takes away from meal planning, really grocery shopping the way that I want to, is kids, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I can't just switch them. Again, my oldest is 17. Like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean we're not eating meat anymore?
Yeah.
Uh, so I think it would be great to put recipes together for moms, for parents, especially in a time where they're so chaotic and so busy, and work life is crazy. It's one less thing for them to do,
Yeah.
just to have something available for them. And then maybe sooner or later, because you both are chefs, sooner or later start doing your own meal prepping and delivery to those parents, because again, now they're like, yes, I'm working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll
That
have
is my
more work.
dream. Like,
Oh yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, any way that I can support that and promote that, I definitely will. That's one of my gifts. Is to tell other people what other people are doing. So, what other advice would you give parents?
I'll say like just parents in general, or like pandemic parents.
Well, I mean, you're a new mom, and then you're a new mom in a pandemic. There there are going to be people who need to know how you got through this, because they're having, 2020 is like baby popping making right now.
Seriously.
Everybody is at home and they have found a hobby.
It's true though.
Right.
But yeah, like being a new parent at first, it had its struggles. It was really hard. And then I'm thinking, okay, I think I kind of got a hang of this, and we're doing better. And then bam, like everything changed again, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like what do I do now? Like we're stuck at home. Like I just don't know what to do. And so it's actually really weird. So I work at a grocery store, so we're essential, but I haven't been to work for a couple months. Normally, like when you have a baby out here, we'll have paid family leave for 6 weeks. But after the baby, I went right after my disability was up, because I needed to start making money again. So 8 weeks in, I have an 8-week-old baby. I'm back at work full time, and so I never took that extra time. And then I found out later I could still take it before the baby turns 1. I can still take 6 weeks off. So she's almost 1, and I'm like, okay, let's take this time off. Literally, when I take this time off, that's when the world shut down. So I'm just like, kind of blessed, and like, wow, this is crazy. Like, perfect timing. God knew the best time for me to take this time off. So now we're at home, and me and my boyfriend, he did lose his job, and so it's not only being still a parent, like now maybe there's more house arguments because we're home together. Everyone's kind of stressed, everyone's like on like tight strings, so it's very difficult. And the one thing I think I still struggle with it, is not thinking that I accomplished enough in a day. And I already felt like that before post the pandemic, like, oh, I'm not doing enough. I'm just sitting here all day just feeding the baby, but like you have sometimes
Right.
that's all you can do, and you're taking care of your kid. This little baby can't take care of itself, so
Right.
you providing life to a little child, that is enough accomplishment for the day. Like
Right.
dishes can wait, the house can wait.
Yep.
So that's something I have to give myself more grace on. You're doing enough.
You took the words right out of my mouth on giving yourself grace. I noticed your wording, right? And we'll say this to ourselves a lot. I just did this today. And that word just, it is so, it's hard to deal with because we think that staying home taking care of kids is a just, when in reality it is a huge job, it is a huge responsibility. Not only are you at home breastfeeding, you're giving someone else nourishment, but you have to also have nourishment yourself in order to provide that milk for the baby, which in itself becomes a full-time job. I breastfed for a couple of months with my third child. Not my first, not my second. My first, I wasn't even thinking about breastfeeding. Not at 19. I was like, whatever. The second one, she was in the hospital longer than I was. So by the time she came home, I was completely out of it, you know? And then the third one, I was like, I'm really going to do this. And 3 days in on full breast milk, I was like, what are these moms doing? Like, I was like, when do I sleep? When do I? She's always on me. She's always eating. Like, I literally didn't know what to do from there. And after, 3 nights of no sleep, sleep deprivation, she wasn't pooping, right? That's a big thing they tell you, like, well, you got to make sure this diaper. I popped the bottle in. I was like, look, I'm not giving her enough food. And the one thing I found out was I wasn't giving myself any food. So I wasn't producing anything. And I'm like, oh, duh. So if we had moms who could be transparent, who can say, look, this is what works for me. This is what I've learned during this time. And I'm going to share some of my tricks and some of my advice to help other parents. A lot of us can go a lot further. And we wouldn't beat ourselves up so much for saying, I just did this today. So I think that what you're doing is so important, especially for young moms, old moms. It's time to change that mentality around and listen to someone else's perspective. We listened to the way that other people did it, and now it's time for them to find some new ways along with the old ways. Just nobody's way is wrong. It's just finding what works for you and giving people that option of saying you don't have to work yourself dog tired in order to believe that you're a good parent. You're going to be tired anyway.
No matter what. And I'm glad you said no one's way is wrong. That's something that I'm huge on. Is every baby's different, every mom, every dad's different, every house is different. So just because something works for somebody else, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for you guys. But just hearing those options is going to be a lot more helpful. Or hearing, oh, hey, you're going through the same thing I'm going. Let me try maybe what you did, or let me try what you did. I just think it's options, and just hearing other people's stories can just help you so much.
So tell me about these cloth diapers, because I've never did a cloth diaper. I think I tried it once, and she peed, and I was like, ew.
It's good too, because I understand what other people think when they hear about it, because before I started them, I thought that is the grossest thing in the world. Why would anybody ever, want to do something like that? It just doesn't make sense to me. But then I started doing more research about it. I joined some groups on Facebook that only talk about cloth diapers to hear people's experience. And basically, it's just like a regular diaper. There's different versions of them. The one that we use the most is called a pocket diaper. So it just kind of has an outside that is waterproof, and then absorbent stuff in the middle that you put inside, and then you put it on just like a regular diaper. You take it off, but the great thing is it fits your baby from the time they're in diapers to the time they're out of diapers, the same diapers. So yeah, you don't have to keep constantly buying them. You could even use them for multiple kids. Like you could save them. Okay, next time you have a kid, here's the diapers. Like I don't have to go buy more. It's like the money part of it is amazing. The eco-friendliness of it is amazing. They're the cutest things ever. You can get custom ones. You can get any pattern imaginable. Like, and I think the biggest thing is like, okay, what about the poop? Like, what about the poop?
That's right. What about the poop?
Thing. That's so, what do I do with the poop? And then like, what about the wash machine? Isn't it gonna get in there? So the poop never touches the wash machine. What we have is a bidet, and it's like a handheld one. So you hold it over the toilet. You spray the poop into the toilet, and then that's where the poop goes, like a normal person, And then you put it in your wet bag or your pail, and you wait until you wash it. Then you can just throw it on the wash machine, and then there's a wash routine that you need. Then you wash your diapers, and that's it. And then it's time to use them again. So at first it seems like a lot, and that's why we started off like very slow and just integrated it in. But like once you get it, it's so easy. It's no different than a regular diaper. I think a really cool advice that I heard was, it's just another load of laundry. We're gonna have to do laundry no matter what.
Right.
So it's literally just one more load of laundry. So it's that's something that's never gonna go away. So
I mean, if you weigh your options between one more load of laundry and how much are Pampers, I would take the laundry.
A box. Yeah, it's like $50. So in newborns, they go through diapers every 5 seconds. You put a new one on, they're gonna need a new one.
Right.
So when we changed, I was so happy. I didn't get mad when I had to change a diaper, because when I threw a diaper out, it was like I was just throwing money away, and I just felt so upset about that. So I just love the money part of it. Seriously.
That's great. What advice would you give parents breastfeeding? So like I said, breastfeeding was hard for me. I felt like I wasn't good at it. And so, I would go from breastfeeding to giving her a bottle and switching, and that's what worked for me, for the first year, just going back and forth, back and forth. But had I had it different, because I'm not having any more kids, but thinking about it, for moms who are struggling with breastfeeding or they want to breastfeed, what is your advice for them?
I'm huge with Facebook groups. Join breastfeeding support groups on Facebook. Learn about it before you start. I didn't know nobody really around me was breastfeeding. I never really knew anything about it. I thought you just do it. Like, seriously,
right.
Like, like that's what we're supposed to do. And then I get to it, and it's way more than just like instinct for some people. Some people it could be so easy. Some people have a struggle. Me, it was very difficult. It was very hard. A lot of nights just crying. Either I was in pain, like I don't know if I'm feeding her enough, like I'm just tired, So yeah, my advice is get support. See like a lactation consultant. You need to like don't give up. And for me, since I was working full time, I had to use a breast pump, which never heard of in my entire life. Like, and if it were not for the Facebook groups of these strange women I never knew or never met helping me, like we wouldn't have made it as far as we did. And it's just get that support, get that help, and know that it's not easy for everybody. Like,
right.
The thing that saved my life was these things called nipple shields. I mean, I never knew what this was, but it's just a way, because maybe TMI, but I have inverted nipples, and without this shield, the baby couldn't latch. Basically, like the nipple of a bottle, kind of. You just place it on, and then the baby eats off of you like that, and life-changing. It just makes it so much easier for so many women. And then we used the nipple shields for about 2 months. Some people use them the entire time. Some people maybe a week, but 2 months we were able to latch without it, and without the nipple shield, like I don't think we would have made it that far,
Wow, I've never heard of nipple shields. That's a new one for me, and it probably would have saved me a lot of trouble, 9 years ago with the last one. But wow, somebody doesn't know that. Somebody doesn't know that they can use nipple shields. I'm definitely writing it down because, like we talked about before, having my other sister is having a baby. Nice. And these are all things that she is gonna want to know. Yeah. I'm like, wow. Okay, cool. What else? What other things would you say has been helpful during this time?
One thing that I have struggled with, I still do struggle with, is postpartum depression and anxiety, which I didn't even know that was a thing also. I think motherhood is a bunch of things that you never heard about, and then all of a sudden you're in it. And so I started to get help around 3 months postpartum. I went to group therapy, and, it's been amazing and super helpful. But the one thing she always tells us is we are like plants, and we need sunlight, food, and water. And, without those, nothing's going to go right. So I try to live by that, making sure I'm drinking enough water, especially if you're breastfeeding, because, like you said, you won't be able to produce,
Right.
So eat food, take care of yourself, and make sure you go be in the sun for every day, So I've been going for a walk every day. We try to go at least like 2 miles around the neighborhood, and I can just feel such a difference in my mood, in my my weight definitely too. I've lost a couple pounds, which is amazing.
Nice.
I didn't start losing weight. Yeah, I didn't lose the baby weight till like a year, so that's pretty cool.
I'm on 17 years.
Yeah, I'm only lost a couple, but anything is fine with me.
Right.
Like I just feel like feeling so much better, and it also during this pandemic, like it feels good to go outside and to have a plan of something you're gonna do, because sometimes the whole day just nothing's going right and you're just stuck in the house. But it's like, okay, at 6 o'clock it's okay, because we're gonna go outside. We're gonna go for a little walk. So it's just good to have that plan that's always there, to get me through the day.
Right. Awesome. So I mean, the last thing in your blog that I read said after doing the lazy parent trying, you became a whole new version of yourself. And I think that's so important, and I think it's great that you're sharing this with other people. Again, like I told you, I didn't find a whole new me until maybe the third baby, because, trying to be everything to everyone, losing yourself over and over again, you need that extra support. You need people to help you through that. And so there will be people who are trying to find a new version of themselves with being new parents or with being parents through a pandemic, right? And so, like we talked about before, it's going to be very important for people to understand that everyone has a different perspective. Everyone has a difference of opinion. But if we take something from each other, we can all grow together. What would be your slogan, or what would be your phrase to tell parents, moms, people out there with the lazy parent trying?
Yeah, honestly, it's work smarter, not harder, just in every aspect of your life. And it's not cutting corners. It's not, cheaping yourself out or doing things the wrong way, but you're still going to do it the right way, but just most effective way possible, in the way that you're going to still have like your sanity and everything's going to be good. So just look at things a different way, like different angles. Sometimes, if you're a visual person, if there's a goal you want to achieve, write down different ways like you could get there, or what you need to be happy, or don't forget taking care of yourself, because you can't take care of other people if you're not taking care of yourself.
Absolutely. And I say that all the time. You cannot, and I've lived it. You cannot. It has been great talking to you. It's so weird to actually talk to you as moms, like you are just the baby sister. Okay, not just, because I don't like that word. You are the baby sister, and now I'm talking to the baby sister as a mom.
Yeah.
That is so weird, but so cool at the same time. what I have to share and what you have to share, they're completely different, but they all work together. And I think this is going to be important for people to hear that moms, we're probably like 10 years apart, right? The way I did some things 17 years ago versus the way you're doing things now, it may be different, but look at the outcome, the positive outcome. Yeah. They both were positive, and there is there is more than one way to do things.
Definitely, yes.
So great. Can you give everybody your blog site so that they can go and check it out?
Yeah, so it's going to be Lazy Parents Trying. There's the website. There's also, if you love Pinterest or Instagram, it's all the same name, just Lazy Parents Trying. So yeah, feel free to check it out. Or if you have any questions, reach out to me about anything.
Perfect. I'm going to be reaching out to you about this vegan lifestyle.
Yes.
All right. Well, it's good talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
Wow, that was so exciting and so informative. I learned some things. Granted, like I told you before, I'm not having any other babies. I have 3, and that is enough for me. But I also think it's so important to continue to learn, continue to grow, and share the information that you receive with someone else. Her site is lazyparentstrying.com. She has a lot of tips and a lot of suggestions for parents who are wanting to work smarter and not harder. I know we talked about the cloth diapers, the nipple shields, and the breast pads, but if you go to her site, there's so much more that she talks about. She talks about ways to turn bar soap into liquid soap. She also has something called How to Make Unpaper Towels Easily. What is that? I don't know. You'll have to go to the site to find out. Work smarter, not harder. Lazy Parents Trying, working smarter, not harder to survive. If you are a parent and you are in need of the suggestions and tips that she is giving, go ahead and go to that site now. I hope that what was said was helpful. I hope that you grow from this. And remember that you have the power to create change. We all have different perspectives, and we all have different things that we've gone through and we've struggled with, and we've learned things along the way. Guess what? It is up to you to take what you hear and to apply it to your life. Everything may not work for you, but you don't know unless you try it. So be open-minded. Take something and use it and see how it works for you. Have a blessed day. It's G time, y'all.